What's up? Welcome to my Treehouse Platform video. The last episode we actually put together the beams, and in this episode we're going to be doing diagonal supports. This is a multi-series video, 6 of them total. Let's get started. Let's roll. First things first, I have my laser level here, and I'm getting a perfect mark in terms of horizontal middle point that is absolutely level. And then I'm taking a piece of scrap wood and just putting it in the knee braces down there, and just to make sure I have a general idea of where that's going to go. So we've got the 4x6 up here, and we've got the end of it laid out, the halfway mark, because we're going to be cutting a slot right down the middle about this wide. So I'm going to put my pencil markings here, and that's going to be how deep it is. So I'm going to make my cut right down the middle this way up until this line, and I've got to make sure it's thick enough. It's like almost like a 1/4 of an inch thick for the most part, and so I'm not sure if I have the tools for the job. So my intuition tells me I'm going to start it with a saw like this, level it out, get it nice and cut, little manual labor here, and then use my reciprocating saw to come in and clean it up and widen it out a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. I could also use the multi-tool and get it from this way and the other way, but I'm not sure. So this might not be the prettiest, but we'll try it out. Actually, I'm gonna use my multi-tool to get it started. Pick up this big boy. It's pretty much all the way through with my reciprocating saw. So now I just need to widen it out a little bit. Or if you've got a miter saw and some sawhorses, you can put it up on its end. Make sure it is 90 degrees. Make sure your blade is aligned, and then bring it straight down the middle, and then rotate it and do the same thing. Perfect. All right, and then we'll just dry fit it, make sure everything fits. And we'll line that up and put our pilot holes. Well, we're not gonna do a pilot hole, we're just gonna bore directly, but our center hole will be about right there. All right, got those bored through. Make sure the carriage bolt goes all the way through smoothly, clearing the way. Also make sure they're long enough. All right, then we'll put this on and align those holes, and we'll use a rubber mallet if we need to tap it in place. You can see it's welded at the end at an angle, so I need to do a little bit of a notch out right here and right here, so that will sit flush against the plate. There we go. I just used my multi-tool kind of at an angle like that. Real easy. And then we'll put it back in there. And we'll put the carriage bolt through with a mallet if it's not going on. We'll do washer and then lock nut. It's the split nut type, and then the regular nut here, and torque it down, and do the same thing for this one. All right, so I had some help. I lugged this thing up to the treehouse over there and just kind of laid it out. You can see the other one laying up there. It's quite heavy, being the 8-foot length. That's all they had at the store. Otherwise I would have bought 6-foot lengths, but it is what it is. I had 2 people help me carry this up. Well, 1 other person. And I set it at an angle and then made a mark, what I'm calling my safe cut, which is about 5 feet. So this is going to give me less weight to work with while I fine tune the cutout measurements. The 8-foot section is just too darn heavy to hold up there and try to get the bracket into place. So just going to make that cut, do the same thing with the other one, and then I can fine tune and work much more comfortably. All right, so I've got a dry fit here, and I've got just a piece of 1x6 sample to make my test notch, because I only have 1 shot at this. I don't want to mess it up. So I'm gonna basically do my test cut here. And what I did, let me explain. I took my measurement from the end of the wood to right here, and then from the end of the wood to right here. So that dropping straight down gave me a 3-inch difference. And so I transferred those 2 marks to my test sample wood here. The first one was the first line, the shorter of the distance, which is right here. And then the exterior one, this one right here, was the longer cut right here, if that makes sense. And then I just did a T to connect those 2, 90 degree. So I'm gonna make my cutout here. We're gonna transfer this, bring it back up here to make sure that it fits nicely and looks good. All right, so I just made my test cut. Let's see how this looks. We want this parallel, well, not parallel to this because the angle's different, but we want it kind of on the base of the bracket. Let's put it up there first. All right, so angle's different and it should be. Yeah, I'm off a little bit. So I basically want that to sit flush and at a 90 degree, which it is, and then my bracket can adjust accordingly. So I'm good with this measurement. And we'll transfer my marks to the actual support beam here. So first step, measure 144 3/4, and then we'll measure 3 inches down from that, and then 90 degree up. I'll basically trace this, but I'm gonna do 3 inches because I had overshot it just a little bit, which meant this was sticking out more than I wanted it to. All right, best thing to make that cut was starting the line with my multi-tool around this end, going as deep as I could, and then switching over to reciprocating saw, and that cut all the way through. I didn't even have to rotate it. Pretty even. All right, I've got that in place. This is lined up with my center mark here, and I just need to move this over a little bit to the left, and then I can do my drill hole. But I'm going to secure it first this way because I want to make sure this is attached here, and then I can kind of wobble it like that to align my hole and drill through that way. Now we're going to get this bad boy out again and drill a hole. How deep are we going? Oh, enough to put this thing through, not completely tight, but we want to get it to about right there. All those threads should be embedded, and this part should be the inside of the bracket. This is the biggest bolt I've ever held in my life. That's what she said. Look how strong this duct tape is. Look at that. Tighten that thing up. Several wraps. Better than steel, baby. Did end up having to peel back the chain link fence a little bit just by unwiring this little part right here from the rail and then bracing it. I think I should be able to get a clear line over it as opposed to through it. And had to clear away all this wild brush. Poison ivy, baby. Stay away from poison ivy. All right, that looks pretty centered. And I've got a clear shot, I think, to the tree. Over the fence, not through it. And since my wife does not want to join me back here in the deep, dark wood, I have devised a singular system with this strap to just hold it in place. So I've got the knee brace dry fit in there. Everything's dry fit, and I'm just going to take my measurements from these 2 points. If you still can't figure out the notched angle after you move it into position, because that requires some trigonometry, you can play around. When you do your wood run, get some 6 foot, or doesn't matter the length really, but you want 6 inches wide dog-eared fence posts. Cedar, it's soft wood, it's lightweight, and it's good practice wood for you. You can take 2 boards together and accommodate just a couple brad nails for the length of your actual post. I've got my actual post here. And then once you're confident about your angle, then you can just transfer that angle that way. It's a high stakes cut, right? You don't want to mess this up. And you want your angle to be pretty darn perfect for that notch cutout. So that's an idea for you. All right, got that on there. That's pretty lined up. And behind the strap, that looks pretty good. And behind this strap, you can kind of see back there, that looks pretty good. All right, so now we'll drill the screw hole, or the hole for the bolt there. And we are centered. I can move it just a little bit, it looks like, but it looks like we're pretty good directly on the center of the tree. All right, I definitely do not recommend shooting the gap like this. All right, that is mostly in. We're gonna back out the supports on this side, on both sides actually, and let the weight just kind of fall into it before I secure those diagonal supports into the crossbeam. Just took the side support beams off, and it's completely reliant now on the diagonal braces and the 2 tabs. So let's get up there and actually see how sturdy it is. Oh boy. That's too much play. My bolts were not in tight enough. I did put them in a little bit more, and you can also buy these little shaft collar things, and that'll prevent slip. Remember, these are floating brackets, so they're designed to move a little bit, but anything more than like an eighth of an inch, 1/8 of an inch of play is too much. By the way, I was so done with the duct tape system, so I actually took a little bit of fence rail and used it as my pipe. Still saved huge money. And by the way, an actual pipe works so much better. I just used a little bit of the rail where appropriate, the appropriate length, about 3 feet long or so. It's a lot easier because you can attach the ratchet and then not have to reposition it every time. You just kind of do this. And that goes a lot faster and is a lot less precarious. All right, so we'll leave about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch on each side. And let's see if that takes care of the play here. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, let's get up here and see. All right, now I'm gonna walk around and make sure it doesn't transfer or switch on me. Okay, go over here. Okay, now that. So it's dirty now? You see it moving at all?
No.
We should be good then. I'm liking what I see and feel. In the next video, we're going to be tackling the joists, including a rim joist, hurricane ties, and getting this thing beefed up even more. Be sure to subscribe and follow along, and we'll see you in the next video.